Good morning, myself RIEF range on shared standard setting and accreditation for school education NEP 2020 with you in my previous video. This IAV range and will talk about key points of state school education system. Standard setting and accreditation for school education, the key principles and recommendations of this policy regarding the state school education system, the independent responsibilities within that system, and the approach to its regulation are as follows.
The Department of School Education, which is the apex state-level body in school education, will be responsible for overall monitoring and policy making for continual improvement of the public education system. It will not be involved with the provision and operation of schools or with the regulation of schools, in order to ensure due focus on the improvement of public schools and to eliminate conflict of interests. The educational operations and service provision for the public schooling system of the whole state will be handled by the Directorate of School Education, including the offices of the DEO and BEO, etc. It will work independently to implement policies regarding educational operations and provision. An effective quality self-regulation or accreditation system will be instituted for all stages of education, including preschool education, private, public, and philanthropic, to ensure compliance with essential quality standards. To ensure that all schools follow certain minimal professional and quality standards, states/UTs will set up an independent, statewide, body called the State School Standards Authority, SSA. The SSA will establish a minimal set of standards based on basic parameters, namely, safety, security, basic infrastructure, number of teachers across subjects and grades, financial probity, and sound processes of governance, which shall be followed by all schools. The framework for these parameters will be created by the CERT in consultation with various stakeholders, especially teachers and schools. Transparent public self-disclosure of all the basic regulatory information, as laid down by the SSA, will be used extensively for public oversight and accountability. The dimensions on which information has to be self-disclosed, and the format of disclosure will be decided by the SSA in accordance with global best practices for standard setting for schools. This information will have to be made available and kept updated and accurate by all schools, on the aforementioned public website maintained by the SSA and on the school's websites. Any complaints or grievances from stakeholders or others arising out of the information placed in the public domain shall be adjudicated by the SSA. Feedback from randomly selected students will be solicited online to ensure valuable input at regular intervals. Technology will be employed suitably to ensure efficiency and transparency in all work of the SSA. This will bring down significantly the heavy load of regulatory mandates currently borne by schools. Academic matters, including academic standards and curricula in the state, will be led by the CERT with close consultation and collaboration with INSERT, which will be reinvigorated as an institution. The CERT will develop a school quality assessment and accreditation framework (SCUF) through wide consultations with all stakeholders. The CERT will also lead a change management process for the reinvigoration of CRCS, BRCS, and DIETs, which must change the capacity and work culture of these institutions in 3 years, developing them into vibrant institutions of excellence. Meanwhile, certification of competencies of students at the school leaving stage will be handled by the boards of assessment/examination in each state. Each role of the system will have explicitly articulated role expectations and rigorous assessment of their performance vis-à-vis these expectations. The assessment system will be objective and developmentally oriented, while ensuring accountability. It will have multiple sources of feedback in assessment, to ensure a full view of the performance, and will not just be linked simplistically, for example, to marks of students. The assessment will recognize that outcomes such as educational attainment of students have multiple intervening variables and extraneous influences. It will also recognize that education requires teamwork, particularly at the level of the school. Promotion, recognition, and accountability of all individuals will be based on such performance assessment. All functionaries will be responsible to ensure that this development, performance, and accountability system is run with high integrity and systematically within their span of control.
Public and private schools.
public and private schools, except the schools that are managed/aided/controlled by the central government, will be assessed and accredited on the same criteria, benchmarks, and processes, emphasizing online and offline public disclosure and transparency, so as to ensure that public-spirited private schools are encouraged and not stifled in any way. Private philanthropic efforts for quality education will be encouraged, thereby affirming the public good nature of education, while protecting parents and communities from arbitrary increases in tuition fees. Public disclosure on the school website and on the SO website, for both public and private schools, would include, at the very least, information on the numbers of classrooms, students, and teachers, subjects taught, any fees, and overall student outcomes on standardized evaluations such as the NEP and SAS. For schools controlled/managed/aided by the central government, the CBSE, in consultation with the MHRD, shall prepare a framework. All the education institutions will be held to similar standards of audit and disclosure as a not-for-profit entity. Surpluses, if any, will be reinvested in the educational sector. The standard-setting/regulatory framework and the facilitating systems for school regulation, accreditation, and governance shall be reviewed to enable improvements on the basis of the learnings and experiences gained in the last decade. This review will aim to ensure that all students, particularly students from underprivileged and disadvantaged sections, shall have universal, free and compulsory access to high-quality and equitable schooling from early childhood care and education, age 3 onwards, through higher secondary education, that is, until grade 12. The overemphasis on inputs, and the mechanistic nature of their specifications, physical and infrastructural, will be changed and requirements made more responsive to realities on the ground, for example, regarding land areas and room sizes, practicalities of playgrounds in urban areas, etc. These mandates will be adjusted and loosened, leaving suitable flexibility for each school to make its own decisions based on local needs and constraints, while ensuring safety, security, and a pleasant and productive learning space. Educational outcomes and the transparent disclosure of all financial, academic, and operational matters will be given due importance and will be incorporated suitably in the assessment of schools. This will further improve India's progress towards achieving Sustainable Development Goal 4, SDG 4, of ensuring free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education for all children. The aim of the public school education system will be to impart the highest quality education so that it becomes the most attractive option for parents from all walks of life for educating their children. For a periodic health checkup of the overall system, a sample-based National Achievement Survey (NAS) of student learning levels will be carried out by the proposed new National Assessment Center, PARIC, with suitable cooperation with other governmental bodies such as the NCERT that may assist in assessment procedures as well as data analysis. The assessment will cover students across government as well as private schools. States will also be encouraged to conduct their own census-based State Assessment Survey (SAS), the results of which will be used only for developmental purposes, public disclosure by schools of their overall and anonymized student outcomes, and for continuous improvement of the school education system. Until the establishment of the proposed new National Assessment Center, PARIC, NCERT may continue to carry out NAS. Finally, the children and adolescents enrolled in schools must not be forgotten in this whole process. After all, the school system is designed for them. Careful attention must be paid to their safety and rights, particularly girl children, and the various difficult issues faced by adolescents, such as substance or drug abuse and forms of discrimination and harassment including violence, with clear, safe, and efficient mechanisms for reporting and for due process on any infractions against children's/adolescents' rights or safety. The development of such mechanisms that are effective, timely, and well known to all students will be accorded high priority. Thank you so much IF Range and Sir for all your support and guidance.
Thank you so much Ms. Ivy Ranjan for discussing the key principles and recommendations of National Education Policy 2020 regarding the state school education system, the independent responsibilities within that system, and the approach to its regulation. Research National Education Policy 2020, presented by IF Ranjan. Kindly visit MHRD websites for more information, or you can visit www.reinvested.com, www.reinvested.net for more articles, presentations and videos.